Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show. I just want to say something, and why it's very, 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 very important for we as a people, and I'm talking about black people, to tell our own story, right? To have a news outlet that is so significant to the point to where what we put out as news is valued all over the globe, right? That is so important. Reason being is because they'll change the narrative of our history, right? See, when someone else writes your history, they're not going to write it in a way that you would deem fit for your life story. They will make you the scapegoat. And as I get deeper into this show, I'm going to explain to you all why I made that statement, and also why I do journalism, and I'm so proud of all the other black and brown journalists that's out there that's not biased and that will tell the truth and put it out there for future generations to judge the truth for themselves. We're not gonna create truth and propaganda and make it lean towards what we want it to be. We're gonna put it out there as it is, and you decide, and that's the proper way of doing things, right? Now we're getting into the show, right, with the passing of General Colin Powell, right? Name, Colin Luther Powell. April 5th, 1937, and he died today, October the 18th, 2021. He was an American politician, a diplomat, statesman, and four-star general who served as the 65th United States Secretary of State from 2001 to 2005. He was the first African-American Secretary of State. Prior to the election of Barack Obama as president in 2008, he and his successor, Condoleezza Rice, were the highest-ranking African-Americans in federal executive branch history. Right. Now, he broke party lines and backed Barack Obama, if you didn't know that. He also championed the cause for affirmative action. He also had no problem being seated next to Minister Louis Farrakhan, right? Colin Powell. Because Colin Powell understood, even if you didn't think he understood, Colin Powell understood what was going on, and he displayed that in his actions. He served as the 16th United States National Secretary Advisor from 1987 to 1989, and as the 12th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff from 1989 to 1993. Right? Now, Powell was born in New York City in 1937 and was raised in the South Bronx. His parents, Luther and Maud Powell, immigrated to the United States from Jamaica. He was educated in New York City public schools, graduating from the City College of New York, where he earned a bachelor's degree in geology. He also participated in the ROTC at CCNY and received a commission as an Army second lieutenant upon graduation in June 1958. He was a professional soldier for 35 years, during which time he had many command and staff positions and rose to the rank of four-star general. He was commander of the U.S. Army Forces Command in 1989. Hear them birds singing? Hear them birds singing? Powell's last assignment from October 1989 to September 1993 was as the 12th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, his highest military position in the Department of Defense. During this time, He oversaw 28 crises, including the invasion of Panama in 1989 and Operation Desert Storm in the Persian Gulf against Iraq in 1990 to 1991. He formulated the Powell Doctrine. Okay, now we getting deep. He formulated the Powell Doctrine, which limits American military action, right, unless it satisfies criteria regarding American national security interests, right? Meaning he wasn't just go to war, just go to war. It had to satisfy American security interests, meaning it had to be a threat to America. Overwhelming force and widespread public support, right? He was the 65th United States Secretary of State, serving under Republican President George W. Bush, right? Now, check this out, y'all. And this is why I say we have to tell the story of us, because they'll twist stories and make you the scapegoat. So I'm going to start here. He was the 65th United States Secretary of State, serving under Republican President George W. Bush. His term was highly controversial regarding his inaccurate justification for America's Iraq War. In 2003, he was forced to resign after Bush was reelected in 2004. Let's go back. Because maybe you all didn't catch it, right? Maybe I didn't understand, and I'll explain it. It states that his term was highly controversial, right, regarding his inaccurate justification for America's Iraq War. And this is Wikipedia. Now, who gave him the intelligence to justify invading Iraq? Who knew about the false information, right, and purposely lied to Colin Powell, had him go in front of the American people and say that there was weapon of mass destruction when there was no weapons of mass destruction? Saddam Hussein didn't have weapons of mass destruction. They knew that. Matter of fact, the inspectors over there told them that there was no weapons of mass destruction or no bunkers with weapons of mass destruction. They doctored up evidence, gave it to Colin Powell. He trusted their report and made the claim to go into war with Iraq. Now, that's widespread knowledge, right? But for the history books, this is how it reads, right? This is how it reads. His term was highly controversial regarding his inaccurate justification for America's Iraq War in 2003. His inaccurate justification, right? They put it solely on his shoulders. Although we know that he was fed false information. That's how they do it. How you do so in history, the black man messed it up. And that's the reason why we went into Iraq, because he had inaccurate justification for the war. Right? And he went to the people, Colin Powell, and said, hey, we need to go to war. You know, because he made up, he fumbled it. He blundered it. Black man blundered it. Wow, man. We understand why it's important for us to tell our story so it can be accurate for our future generation, for our children. Because they'll try to blame us for all the mistakes and use us as a scapegoat for their wrongdoings. Right? Colin Powell was actually upset that he was did that way. He was depressed. That affected him, you know, because his word was his bond. And they knew the people would trust Colin Powell. So they give him this false information, send him in front of the American people, and come to find out he was set up. You know, they lied to him. And he had to take the fall for that. And he couldn't believe they would do such a thing like that, use him that way. But come on, man, they always have used us. This is nothing new. This is white supremacy. This is racism in America. It don't stop. And it has no bounds. But I like to say, I recognize the good works that Colin Powell did with affirmative action and the works he did as far as crossing party lines and supporting Barack Obama, first black president, and also for not shying away and sitting right next to Minister Farrakhan. So yeah, hey, Colin Powell, rest in peace. We thank you for your service, and we know what you did. We know who you are, and we know who lied and who told you to lie and who was the founder of the lie. Verbal Pick Radio, we're out.